So Shaun, thanks very much for joining us to discuss the Carabao Cup. And as one of your former clubs, we'll obviously be taking a closer look at Manchester City. Given their history in this competition, 7-time winners, are you surprised to see them in yet another semi-final?
No, not at all. I think Pep Guardiola, he takes this competition very seriously. City's won it 3 times under Pep Guardiola in his time, and so he'll be wanting to advance from the semi-finals into the finals and try to win it once again. But he takes it very serious. He's a serial winner, but I imagine this will be a very, very tough game.
And then we'll come on to Pep Guardiola in just a moment, but just on the Carabao Cup generally this season, we've seen Brentford go through to the semi-finals for the first time ever. Spurs are looking to win the competition for the first time since 2008. Manchester United for the first time since 2017. It's certainly not disappointed so far, has it, as a competition?
No, it hasn't. It's lived, the Carabao Cup has lived right up to all expectation. Again, as you say, Brentford, how amazing a story is for them. And certainly if they were to go and beat Tottenham and advance to the finals. So I think for the neutral, this is what some fans will want. They'll want Brentford to reach the finals. Probably even for neutrals, they'll probably want a different winner other than City, because City's been that consistent in winning the trophy. But me having my blue hat on, I want City to win it again. But Man United, they're a team that, when they get in places like semi-finals and wanting to advance to finals, they're no slouches. They can get it right, in terms of showing up and producing the right type of performance to advance. So, City is in a tough one. Tottenham against Brentford. Tottenham with Jose Mourinho, another one who knows how to win, who knows how to, advance to the next level, and also go on to win it. So, these are 4 teams that I think will all make exciting, finalists, whoever it may be. But I think we're really just hoping, as it normally is, a really exciting game between both teams.
And so you just touched on it a moment ago, but like many managers, the League Cup was Pep Guardiola's first trophy in English football, and you said it yourself there. It's clear that it is an important one to him, isn't it? It means a lot to him.
Yes, it means an absolute lot. It's the first trophy that the players can celebrate, and it's amazing the confidence it also gives for the remainder of the season to know that you've got one in the bag. It's sort of the confidence that you can take from winning the Carabao Cup. You can take it into perhaps another 3-4 games. The confidence, the fans are they're excited, they're joyous. We've got another one, and so and rightly so. It's a trophy to be won, because there are a lot of teams that didn't take, for whatever reason, didn't take it seriously. I think now that I see Pep Guardiola winning it so consistently that he takes it serious since he arrived in 2016, I think there's a lot of teams that are looking and saying, no, we need to be taking this serious, and which is why you've got Man United, you've got Man City, you've got Tottenham, and Brentford's been a surprise package for a lot. But for me, I'm not surprised at Brentford, because you see the style of their football, and both semi-finals are going to be exciting games.
I was going to say, winning breeds confidence, doesn't it? And with the League Cup traditionally being the first trophy that's up for grabs, it really can be so important in terms of momentum and confidence and a winning mentality into that final third of the league season as well, can't
it? Exactly. All of the above, that momentum, winning mentality, confidence, belief the players will have with having just won the Carabao Cup. They have that sort of 12 hours of, singing and dancing and parading, sort of the trophy, the selfies, putting it out on social media. But then they know, it's probably the following day, it's rest recovery. And then it's like, right, we've got to kick on. But that confidence, that when they look around that dressing room and they go, yes, we know it's international quality, world-class players, but it gets backed up by, we've just won the first trophy that's available. Why are we not going on for, the next and the next? And so again, it gives him that momentum to go on the next several games and continuously keep winning.
And just looking at Manchester City, it's been a little bit of a mixed first half of the season for them. But there's only, in the Premier League, there's only 6 points between them and top spot. It really is very close. But who have you been most impressed with at Manchester City so far this season?
It's been well, who I've been most impressed with? Torres. I mean, I've seen the standards of what Sterling's about. Sterling has taken his game to another level. So I'm no longer surprised when I see the consistency. I'm no longer surprised when I see De Bruyne with these great through passes, you know, and you're thinking, wow, he's played a pass that we sit up in the stands and thinking that's where the ball needs to go, and he delivers that. I'm no longer surprised because he does it so regular and so consistent. But Torres, young player, 20, coming in, and he didn't start off, you know, house on fire, the first month, shall I say. But he slowly just got himself into a groove, and he's even had to play right up the middle. And when I watch him, you know, with a striker's eye, I really like the movement that he gives, his finishing. So his ability to play out wide, his ability to play up front as well. I've been really impressed with him. I almost feel like I should go through my whole team because I mean, Addison, right? And he's a goalkeeper. If I'm playing with Addison, right, I'm saying to Addison in the dressing room, you should be setting me up with 3-4 goals a season because he can kick the ball that accurate and that far. And I will be having conversations with him to say, listen, even when we have a goal kick and teams, you know, try to press and they send, you know, maybe 5 or 6 players to try to press, and it's a goal kick, I will be saying to him, listen, when I stand in this position here, I'm going to make a run 4 or 5 yards that way, but I want you to put the ball as basically back in that area because I'm only running that way to take the defender, and then if you put it back there, then I'm virtually running in on goal. So I would imagine these conversations that Sergio and Jesus, so these guys would be having these type of conversations. I mean, I used to have this with Nicky Weaver because Nicky Weaver didn't kick the ball off the ground that way, but he used to, at certain fields, he used to really launch a ball. And I said, Nicky, you could have set me up with 2 goals. So when you've got somebody like Addison who can kick it off the ground as a goalkeeper, that is such a weapon. And I would be disappointed as a striker if my goalkeeper didn't assist me with 3 opportunities. Now, it's for me to take them. I have to still score them. But he is that phenomenal as a goalkeeper. He really is. And I don't think you can find a goalkeeper that's as confident as he is on the ground and have his distribution. He's a phenomenal goalkeeper, and I love that he's City's goalkeeper.
And one player who I know he's made the headlines for a while now, but he made his mark in this competition a few years ago, and he was man of the match in last year's final. It's Phil Foden, someone who's still so young and, you know, has stepped up internationally as well. He's such an impressive young player, isn't he?
He is. And the world, you know, the world's at his feet. He can really go all the way. And when I say all the way, I could see him standing on the podium in terms of, you know, being in the short list of sort of Ballon d'Or. He has this quality about him, and I know that's a huge thing to say with somebody so young. What I like about Phil Foden is he brings energy. So whenever he plays, you never see this low sense of energy. He always brings a goal threat, as in he's either scoring a goal or assisting a goal. And so as a midfielder, these are great qualities as a midfielder because he can play in a wide position, he can play in the pocket in a number 10 role. So his dribbling is really nice and tidy when he drives at players. I can really see his future and certainly how he's evolved, you know, with training with the world-class players that City have. And then when he goes to join the England players, it must be difficult because he must see himself as one of the better players in the England team, even though he's not the regular starter. But I really, when I see him, I just think this guy is a phenomenal player. It's so young. And I really do think in 4 or 5 years, he'll be one of those players that'll be challenging for Ballon d'Or. He is really that good a player.
And I just want to touch on your time at Manchester City. I know you made a number of appearances. You won promotions with them. It's a club that is very close to your heart, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've I've developed this relationship with the fans, and I think yes, it has been because of the goals. Scoring 103 goals and being in the 100 club and all those. But I was always a player that had time for fans, from being able to take a little photo, sign a little autograph, and have a 2-minute chat. And I think those two things combined, because believe me, if I had a chat and signed an autograph, but I was rubbish on the field, they'll say, yeah, I don't want your autograph. You may be stopping, but I don't want it. But so I built a rapport where I produced the goods on the field, but also had time to have that sort of little conversation. Because, I knew what it meant. I didn't come to England until I was 18. And when I was around professional players, I was like this, jaws dropping, just watching their every movement. So I understand that feeling of young kids watching, being able to see, the stars and legends, etc.
And obviously, during your time at the club, you were part of the side that won the famous 1999 playoff final against Gillingham. I know you must get sick of being asked about it, but when you look at where Manchester City are now, just how important is that game in their history?
Well, I think we'd have to say that will be the most important. I would think that game and also the game before, obviously, to get to the finals. But, Paul Dickov's goal, Kevin Horlock, equalizer, and then Paul Dickov's goal are so huge in where the club are today, because we never foresaw, world-class players being at the club. The Etihad campus, the stadium, the jobs that it brought for the community, the style of football that it has brought, the world-class manager, style of football. I remember watching the first few games and watching us play, and I used to be like this, thinking, clear it, Addison, clear it. And so it was a whole education that Pep brought to us, which was the game can be played with the goalkeeper as a football as well. And now, if you just watch a game and listen to the City fans, they don't panic when the ball goes back to Addison. But if you go back to those early days, they were all screaming and throwing. It's like, just get rid of it, just get rid of it. So it was a panic, but we've been educated. And, Pep has also influenced the games in the lower leagues. Teams are trying to play out the back. And it's kind of funny at the same time, because you're like, you shouldn't be trying it. You don't have the players to play out the back. But this is great for football, because this is what Pep has brought. But going back to your question in regards to, that time and scoring those goals and getting promoted, because the club was really on the brink. I mean, there was a time when, as players, we were washing our own kit. I'd like to see that. It'd be quite interesting. Sergio, here's your kit for the week, and you've got to wash it.
And obviously that was such a special day. It's probably not a more dramatic ending to a football match than that. But what are your memories of the day? Do you remember much about it, or did it all just kind of blur into one?
It's amazing. We had a gathering. We had a 20-year gathering, and the players had all sort of stood and watched. And there were certain parts of the game we just did not remember. We were all stood there. I forgot. I had hit the post. I had totally forgot. What I did remember is, which people forgot, I did assist Paul in the goal. Yeah. I said, Paul, I was Kevin De Bruyne before Kevin De Bruyne. But a lad had challenged me, and it deflected to Paul. So I told him it was an assist. And the same thing happened with Kevin Horlock's goal. I was shooting, the lad blocked it, and it fell back to Kevin. So I said, that's 2 assists by Goda. So I was Kevin De Bruyne before Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, it was really a lot of Blair in terms of the game itself. But the one thing that stands clear in my memory was, when we had scored, when Kevin Horlock scored, there was it was 4 minutes of additional time. It was a great big roar from the City fans. And it sort of went through my body like a chill, which was like, it was really, come on. And it's amazing. It just gave us this surge of energy. and belief that yes, we can score a second, and equalize. As we all know, we went on to do that. And at that point, we could have all walked off the field and we still would have known we would have won that game because we were 2-0 down. It was the 88th minute. They had just scored, took off their striker. He was high-fiving, everybody on the bench. And we were just thinking, no, we've got another year in this division, all this hard work. And then it all sort of flipped a minute, 2 minutes later.
And moments like that are so special. And I know you've won a number of trophies in your career, whether it be playoff finals with City, promotions with Southend United. I know you won the EFL trophy with Rotherham United. As a player, that's what you play for, isn't it? No matter the trophy, no matter the occasion, you want to win.
Yes, you want to win, and you do remember them because, again, no matter what a player's journey is, whether you're from Bermuda to Wembley, or you're from Brazil and you're playing in the World Cup final, you're playing in the Carabao Cup final, you remember every experience. So when you're winning, and whether it's a promotion, you remember these occasions. And if somebody was to say to me, yes, winning the Premier League is greater than getting promoted as a championship player. But on that day, I would argue and say, I don't think so. I think it's equally the same. And that's how it feels to a player. There isn't a better feeling than when you actually win on the day, no matter what that particular trophy is.
And just looking ahead to the semi-finals then, obviously, I know you touched on it, but Manchester United are the opponents for City on the day. It's a shame not to have fans in the stadium for it, but, facing your rivals in a cup tie is always special, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll still be spicy. And I think the outcome of this game will largely depend on Pep Guardiola and his tactics, because we've seen that when City have been an open game, and have fullbacks pushing on and attacking with lots of swagger, it plays a little bit into United's hands because we know how dangerous they are on the counter attack. And then we've seen when City's been a bit more pragmatic and said to the fullbacks, don't go forward, or had two holding midfielders, it's been a bit of a stalemate. So I think the person that controls the outcome of this game in terms of the excitement is Pep Guardiola. And, if he decides that I want to have two holding midfielders, we're going to be a bit more pragmatic on the day, and say, well, we're going to allow you to have the ball as opposed to counter-attacking against us. This is where it becomes a different dynamic. But again, Pep always seems to conjure up some sort of move or plan. But again, because of the one-off, both teams will not want to lose this. So what I do hope for is an early goal, and I think that will open up the game, and we'll see our Carabao semi-finals like we've never seen before.